Alright, so I'm not sure if this is going to be a self-mastery video or not. You'll find out why in this video. We're going to be going over a few things, very few, some generic things, but in a non-generic way, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But either way, if this does become a self-mastery video, here's the intro. Alright, so back in the Wealth and Prosperity series, there was one point where I was mentioning self-development and, watching something every night, start working on yourself. But I also mentioned to not stay in it too much. And in my Know Thyself video, I talked about people who have an addiction to self-mastery, have an addiction to self-development and all these things. And a lot of people don't get the results they want. They're not where they want to be. And, a big portion of these people are the people who are working on themselves, and they get very discouraged. It gives it a bad rap, but, this is one of those things where it is part of the teacher, but a big majority of it is the student. And see, as I'm trying to, teach self-development, I'm not trying to hit everything, but every little thing adds up. See, I'm not making a video on how to be more happier or this and that. I give over the course of 7 different videos some exercises, some ways of thinking, and after watching those videos, you might have already come into terms with happiness within yourself. You see, a lot of those videos that are just like how to be happy, how to manifest it, and this is why I didn't want to get into the whole manifestation BS, because it's like a trigger word. They're like, all right, we're going to manifest this in 17 seconds, the 15 manifestation rule or whatever like that. But I wanted to go over it because I wanted to show you what you're really doing. I wanted to teach the Hermetic principles. I wanted to teach a little bit of magic. And you see, that's what the law of attraction is. And a lot of people get butthurt. A lot of Christians get butthurt who follow the law of attraction. And I hate to tell them, but it's occult magic on a very base and watered down level. But I had to go over it because there's things that you can actually do. There's an actual solution to the problem. You can create the sigil. You can do a candle ritual. You can inscribe the sigil into the candle. See, it's not just, let's think about as if, and, I go a lot over, ways of looking at your problem, and I know a lot of that generic shit is BS, and I'm trying to nip that in the bud right now. Something that's going to be happening soon, which I think I've mentioned before. I do a little bit of work on Reddit. I'm anonymous there, so I'm not going over who I am or anything, but I've been seeing some problems, coming up in people's lives. Very, very, very specific things that I know that a lot of people can relate to. And so I'm going to be going over certain things from there. Now, they're not questions that have been asked of me. They might not even be things that I've answered on Reddit. They may have been things that I've just seen. Maybe things that I have helped in the comments on it. You're not going to know. But when we do bring those in, this is what I'm talking about. And so I did mention, get into self-development, but don't get into it too much, because a lot of people, they get into it and they're in this own astral world of their own, and this they become really big dreamers. And so the thing that a lot of them miss is taking action. So I made 5-6 videos on taking action. And I know that's super generic too. Haha, take action. But that's why I gave you the little bullshit sigil course, little bullshit candle course. It's because those are things that you can do. See, that's what everybody wants. Everyone wants the list out, written out, what can I do? A lot of people don't like to think. I mentioned that on this channel you have to think. But what the hell are we really doing on this channel? You see, the thing about self-development is, and I've told you, I'm not a big fan of the New Age. I'm not a big fan of the law of attraction. I'm not a big fan of the entrepreneur movement nowadays, because a lot of it is generic and they're passing around the same things. You can see videos that only go about so far, or they'll post the 17 manifestation second rule or whatever, and then everybody else will post it. And nobody's going over the key root problems of them all. You see, there's different categories that you have to hit here. Actually, let's get the whiteboard up. See, when it comes to self-mastery, you've got, let's say you've got you, right? You've got you. Here, let's pull this a little close. All right, and I'm going to try this time not to talk to the board the entire time. So you've got you, and everybody has at least 3 main categories which they wish to which they wish to excel in. I need to excel in my speech and language, I can tell you that. But that's not one of these categories, all right? So you've got the money field. This isn't just money, this is all material things. You could say that this little section corresponds with the element of earth. The element of earth. It's the first one, it's the physical world you're in. It's the first thing that we should master, and in this also includes health, because your physical body is a part of that. But we've got the money and the material. Health is another one in and of itself, but it does still correspond to that. We've got health, and then right here, you've got love and power. Love and power. Now, money and power could also go hand in hand because, once you become so powerful, do you even need money anymore? We'll go over all these things later. I don't want to get you mixed up, but the thing about self-development is somebody's looking for something. And if you go online and it's just how to manifest, how to be happy, how to this, a lot of you people need to get out of that. See, if my channel's not helping you, if you're just staying put in this little self-mastery circle, see, there's the self-mastery circle. It's the innermost circle, the circle closest to your mind. Everything begins in the mind, you need to start working there. And then outside of that ring, you've got the ring of opportunity. I should really do this somewhere else. Now, this is not an all-inclusive graph. We may come back to this later on, so if you want to take notes, definitely do that. But if you're one of those people who are in the self-mastery circle, this is the first one you work on. You start learning self-development, you start gaining the mindset. You pick somebody who has a nice set of symbols, so to speak, a nice rubric to work from, and then follow that. It's why I say to do things by the book. If you're following something specifically, if you're doing any type of dieting and exercise, a lot of people want to mix up stuff, but you need to do it by the book at first. It's like learning how to write. It's like learning how to read. It's like any art. You first master the art by its laws, and then after you have gotten good at that, you then push the laws. You never stay in high school forever. You never stay in school. See, this is like the school, all right? And then next, you've got the ring of opportunity. Now, the ring of opportunity is kind of fluidic. It's never stable. Some people see the opportunity, some people don't see the opportunity. But a lot of the people that aren't doing anything or are stuck in here and they're not getting results, they're not moving out to opportunity. They're not engaging. They're not taking upon the opportunity. And once you do take upon the opportunity, you automatically go to the third circle of action. Now, action, that's why I've been focusing so much on action, because if you can just take action, you automatically move from the innermost circle, bam, to the outermost circle. And see, the circle outside of that is results. Results. That is good or bad. See, is there 3 O's? No, there's 2 O's. So you've got your good and bad results. See, the good ones, a lot of people are like, oh, well, the good one's, success, and the bad one's a failure. And, a lot of people are like, well, let's, be balanced. Let's look at the bad as if it's a good thing. It's a lesson, and that's great, but there's also another way to look at the good. A lot of people take the good as like, this is how I do it right. This is this. But if you take in every different account to whatever you're doing, everything's different, everyone's different, every second is different, every day is different. And so even when you do get good results, and I say to take notes and go off of that, you can't just rely on that same old thing you did. You have to keep changing. You have to keep moving. And so what is outside of results, good or bad? Well, the next one would just be change in general. Change. This is when time becomes a little bit different, and once you are moving like this, you'll understand what I meant in the how to time travel video, because it'll be as if you've time traveled. And the problem with self-development is that people are just stuck right here in the self-mastery one. And they're not, some of them are moving to opportunity, some of them are taking barely any action, but you really do have to hop. You have to take action. You start taking action, the opportunity will automatically come to you. See, once you go to a certain ring, everything inside of that ring expands. And so if you are not getting good results, if you're not getting any results from this channel, good or bad, stop watching me. Absolutely stop watching me. I don't want people on this channel hooked on self-development. I don't like working with those people. Those people don't truly want to change at all. They don't even want to look for the results, to take the action, to even gain the opportunity. They're stuck right there on a dopamine high. You might as well be watching BuzzFeed videos for the rest of the night, to be honest. And so there are many different categories that we can work on ourselves. Now, as I said, whenever you are following somebody, you want to follow their set of symbols, their rubric, their system. Now, I don't own this system. I've given you ways to learn more about what I talk about. I've told you to go study and go look for yourself. Look at things that people who disagree with me talk about, you know? If it gets you good results to do exactly the opposite of what I say, by God, do it. And so we've got the earth element, which we're going to write this in a different way. We've got our 4 elements. Got earth, water, air, and fire. Now, this fire right here, I've mentioned it before when I talk about entrepreneurs. I tell you that, there are good things out of the entrepreneur movement. There's some people that actually do get upon it. They do take that action. They do move up. And I say that they have that fire about them. It's that 4th stage. You see, you've got earth right here, the slowest moving of the elements. Fire is the fastest moving. Okay, it's like bottom to top. Now, one is not greater or lesser than the other. They are all equals, but they all go into the same thing. It's like change, You got quarters, dimes, nickels. Now, one may be more value, but that quarter is the same as 25 pennies. And so, don't look at the elements as this one's better than this one, it's better than this one, it's worse than that one, or whatever like that. But you see, you need to work on these 4 categories of your life. See, you've got earth. You've got the material side of your life. That's the first thing that people need to work on. And I know I tell people the first thing they need to work on is their mindset. Now, your mindset and your thoughts, that corresponds to air. Thoughts. All right? And we've also talked a little bit about working on our emotions. I haven't gone completely over emotional abundance, and it's a very important lesson. It's very important when it comes to those of you who have depression and you're just sick of just going to the psychiatrist over and over, or you're just watching the same videos, or you get a little high and then you just drop back low and it feels shittier than ever. All right? But this is how you get things done. And a lot of self-development people don't go over this. There are plenty of systems out there to help you become the best that you can be. A lot of people don't pick one of these. A lot of people stay in the little self-mastery circle. You've got to get out of that. You've got to branch out. And so I want you, after this video, to go and study the elements. Now, there's going to be a lot of BS information online, but you're going to have to do as best as I did. You're going to have to shuffle through shit like everybody else does. You will learn a lot, and your mindset's going to go and change and go back and forth, and you're going to gain the perspective that you need. So with the earth, we've got our material side. We need to constantly be working on that. Is your house dirty? Are you in bad health? How's your money going? Do you have more going out than coming in? Is your debt eating you up faster than your job can pay you for the week? Work on the earth element. That is the foundation of everything. It's the bottom one. Remember that. All right? You're standing on earth. There's a lot of symbolism in this. You're going to start to come up with your own type of ideas and epiphanies just from studying, just from meditation. This is why I go over meditation, getting in with yourself. And we're going to go over soon about the dark self. And this is another reason why people don't change, is because they do have to battle their darker half. Now, it's not a battle of winning, so to speak, as destroying it, but it is a compromise. It is a balance of both forces, and we will go over this. You want to master the material. Next, we've got water. Water sits above the earth, denser than air, but not as dense as earth, obviously. Here we've got the emotional mind. See, we've got thoughts. We've got right here would be the logic mind, and right here would be the emotional mind, the intuitive. Remember when I talked about bringing both into balance to bring about the manifestation? You see, as I said, it always starts in the will, taking action, This right here corresponds with the will, corresponds with action, movement. Mars is the planet of movement, red fiery planet. Mythology, you have Ares, the war god. So a lot of people, when taking action, you have to take it like war. You have to, get everything out of your way. It's like, get out of my way or die. And so, when it comes to manifestation, I'm about to blow your mind a little bit if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You've got your will, you've got what you want. That's the beginning. You take your thought, you take your logic mind, you take your visualization, you take the emotional mind, the feeling, and you're mixing those two to manifest the material object that you're wanting, or whatever outcome that you're wanting. As I said, it's a lot faster to manifest answers to questions that you have. It's because it just goes from here to here. Thoughts. It's easier to work on your emotions when it comes to this stuff because it's right there. And I know I say it's so easy to manifest things, but out of all of them, it'd be hardest to manifest the earth if you take the system in the order that it goes in. But remember, not one element is greater than the other. I know it seems like that, but it is not. And so when you're working on yourself, you have to hit all four categories. If you're working on one, you're in balance. It's like, I know I talk shit about New Agers, gotta open our third eye. Here's what I do when people are talking about their third eye in public. I ask them what they do with their Ajna chakra. I know a few people probably laughing right now. And it's funny, they look at me and they say, well, I don't know about that stuff. The Ajna chakra is the third eye chakra. And so if they did know what they were talking about, they'd know. But either way, these people are working on their Ajna chakra, right? They're opening their third eye. They're becoming woke, like it fucking matters. And, if you want to take into account all the chakras, you got 7 chakras. Remember, we got 7 planets as well. And there's a little correspondence for you. But if you're only working on the Ajna chakra, you see, you've got underdeveloped, you've got balanced, and then you have overdeveloped. And if you're just focusing on the third eye chakra or becoming woke or meditation, or maybe you're working on the root chakra, If you're just doing that, you're unbalanced, because then you're overworking one. You're overdeveloping it, and everything else might not even be balanced, but be underdeveloped. And so when it comes to self-development, not a lot of these people will tell you about the elemental parts of the mind, the psyche, the earth, water, air, and fire part. See, those people that'll spend years and years in prison just working up all this vengeance to get out, they start working out, they start getting real buff. They got that fire element about them. You've got someone who wastes time and just very sluggish. They do have that earth element about them. Earth is the slowest moving. This one's the fastest moving, On top of earth sits the water. On top of that is the air. Fire would be the highest. You see, some people would say that the fire is the higher consciousness, earth is the lower consciousness, the higher self, the lower self, the ego. Now, there's also different parts of the ego. There's, different parts of the psyche. There's Kabbalistic parts of the soul. But we're not going into that today. We're focusing on one thing that nobody goes over that will definitely help you in whatever that you're trying to master yourself. Because I know I talk shit about generic videos, but this one is a generic video, but in an generic way. And so you have to work on the 4 different parts of you. And if you're wondering about the 4-fold breath exercise that I gave, you notice that number 4 coming around. There's very important things to the number 4. Number 4 is the number of manifestation, as we've gone over. And so, if you're one of those entrepreneurs who are, working within your business and you're grinding hard and you're trying to build your business, I'd say you're working with fire and earth. That's great. That'll do a lot for you. I've told you that, there's some people that just take action, and some people who just believe in themselves. They have the right thought and mind. You see, a lot of people will have these really well developed who don't even have a clue about all this, mumbo jumbo. But then there's a lot of people that don't. And so I want to get this out to the people who have no clue. And so if you're just specifically working on your mindset and then also your material, you're working with air and earth, fit in the emotional side. Work on your emotional mind. Work on taking action. See, these things working on these things that I'll give in one video, this is why I say if you watch all of them, they kind of answer each other's questions. So see, as you're doing this, you're automatically moving from the self-mastery circle on out. And I know that this doesn't correspond to this, because, why wouldn't action be on the very outsider one? See, this is what I'm trying to tell you by not one is greater than the other. And so, as I said, that this isn't an all-inclusive chart, but we may use it again to write it down. We may also add on to it. We may also change it. But a lot of people in the self-development community aren't receiving any change. They're throwing out all kinds of money. I've spent a lot of money on courses. I know there are expensive courses out there. There's ones that are just $35. There's ones that are $200. There's ones that are $400 a month. There's one for the entire year that I was looking at that was $1,959. And it's great and all, but a lot of this you can do on yourself, and it's why I'm not making courses right now. It's why I turned the candle and the sigil one into just a YouTube video. It's because a lot of this you can do on yourself. They won't tell you this. You need me. You need my expertise. And I know that's the important part of a business. That's what you go to somebody for, is for their expertise. And a lot of people aren't in the place. But a lot of people, as I said, it's not just on the teacher, it's on the student. And so if you are working on yourself, and if you still want to watch self-development, great. But if you keep staying in self-development, I'm telling you that you will get stuck in this circle. You need to look for opportunity. When you see the opportunity, you need to take action. You need to be aware of your results that you're getting, good or bad. Sometimes good results are bad things for another. This is the law of polarity in action. Some bad things are good for certain things. And so don't judge good or bad, as I've mentioned so many times before. And then on the outermost circle, that's when you receive the change. Positive or negative. See, some things we need more negativity. Some things we need to break down. Some things we need to build up at a certain time. There's a rhythm to life. This is the Hermetic law of rhythm and action, the pendulum swing. And so this is what a lot of those gurus aren't teaching other people. They're not teaching you the behind the scenes on self-development, the behind the scenes on the law of attraction, all the Hermetic principles, all the occult magic you're doing, you little evil sinner.
In today's video, I'm going to be showing you more proof that the law of attraction, the secret, comes from Satan.
But this is what people really want deep down. And a lot of people want to do well. I know a lot of people talk shit about how people don't want to do nothing for themselves deep down, and I know I've mentioned that before, but people all want to do well. They want more money. It may not even be a selfish reason. They want more money for their family. They might want to help in their community. You got someone who's got some love problems, they want to fix that. And then you've got health right here. And those are the main three bodies that people get crossed up and fucked up on. And you cross one out and you're imbalanced. And so are people going to always constantly be perfect in all three fields? Health, love, power, money, material, all that? Of course not. But if we stay working towards that, it will stay in perpetual balance. You see, it's like the dishes or your home. Your home gets dirty, but unless you're working on keeping it clean, it's going to build up and it's going to overwhelm you. And a lot of people will ignore one of these things, one of these circles, one of these elements of their psyche, and it becomes unbalanced. You get a running start, but then you get tired. And then all of a sudden people start passing you. And it looks as if time and things are going backwards. Remember, time is change. I want you all to go back and watch that video. I've mentioned a self-mastery course that I am definitely making. It is one that I've been developing before I even began this channel. And I've said that there's something that I'm working on within this channel. And I said it's going to take a good 4 years, 5 years probably. You see, I'm constantly adding to it. You are also in this YouTube channel getting little free snippets of what this course is going to entail. And so, I'll give you a hint. The first lesson, most likely, that will be in the self-mastery course, which sounds so generic. I really want to name it something else, like alternative spirituality for lazy-ass heathens. Something that stands out. But either way, the first thing that we are going to master in this course is time. We're going to shoot right up here. We're getting the fucking business done. And so, with this big course that's going to come out that you should look forward to, I've been working on it for a long time. I pull out snippets of things that I will mention that I don't go too much on in this YouTube channel. And so, by all means, take advantage of all the free shit that I'm putting out. It is out there to help you. And so, if you're in self-development, as I keep repeating myself, let's just erase things. We've already gone over this, all right? We're moving on. We've already gone over this. You understand this. You understand that you need to stay out of this. See, within this circle, the self-mastery circle, is there a circle within it? Nope. I'd say that there's a circle around it. See, right here is where a lot of majority of people will lie. A lot of people just working their job, just in through life's loop. Working paycheck to paycheck. And you see, we have to backtrack. As I said in the Self-Mastery series, you have to start over. You have to go within. And so you're right here. And so you do have to go in. You have to start understanding yourself. You have to understand self-development. You have to understand what you're doing. It's like exercising. Everybody knows push-ups and, bench presses and deadlifts and this and that. And, some people might not know all those things, but you at least know sit-ups and push-ups. And so you could start doing something to become more stronger if you're wanting more strength, and so you do have to go within. You do have to learn. It's like anybody looking up any exercise, you eventually have to learn bigger things. And so you move from this circle. This is like the comfort zone. See, the comfort zone is in two different ways. Let's make this a little darker. So this dark ring is the comfort zone. And see, a lot of people, the opportunity is a little bit outside the comfort zone, but also working on themselves is out of that comfort zone too, just in the other way. And so you have to move in first. A lot of people try to do it on their own. Is this bad? No. Does it work? Absolutely. But do you want to make sure that you're going to get through really well? Are you going to, eat that healthy breakfast before your test in the morning to help yourself out? Of course you fucking are. And so you move in and then you start moving out. This is a circle to get very stuck in. It's just like the comfort zone, except with more of a dopamine high. And so the self-mastery circle is a very dangerous circle to get caught in, because you're all about all this change, but you're not doing anything. You're not moving to take an action, or if you are, it's not even giving you results. And so you have to work on all four of these. You have to be moving out of this circle. A lot of people won't do this, and these are the real solutions to your problem. This isn't just think like this. And I know I go a lot over how to think like this way and that way, and it does help. But as I said, we eventually have to go over the deeper shit, and that's what we're going over today. And so, you do have to take all of it into account. You must be balanced in all areas. Is this easy? Sometimes. Life has its rhythm, but then sometimes it's hard. It usually gets worse before it gets better, as people say, but sometimes it gets better before it gets worse, and that's been a lot of cases for me. And so you do have to stay with your head above the water. Don't drown in the water. Don't drown in your emotions. See, let's take the darker self. Let's talk a little bit about that. I know I was going to save that for the next video, but I want to show you a picture. All right, so this picture is from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. It's a game that I played back when I was younger, and there's this part of the game where Link fights Dark Link. Okay? So you essentially have yourself and you have your darker self. You have these both sides of the mind. You could see these as the pillar of mercy and the pillar of severity, You've got your two pillars, you've got your two sides, you got the two halves of the mind, You've got all these 2s and 4s and what are all these numbers? And this is why people in conspiracy theories trip out about numerology. But it's not all that weird. You see, you've got your darker self, but there's something in between. You see, you've got the earth element, and then you have what? The water element. You see, when you go to fight your dark side, you have to go within, as I said. It's a lot like meditation. And things can get very deep, very emotional. This is the element of water. Now look back at the picture. Do you notice what they're fighting on? They're both walking on water. You see, in the Bible it talks about this. Christ walked on water. He wasn't drowning in the water, drowning in his emotions. You must walk on top of them. And I know a lot of people, the Bible's not a metaphor, it's all real. Well, it can be real and it can be a metaphor. It could be neither. Go away. But you've got the two sides. And this is you can say that this is your conscious, this is your unconscious. Sometimes not. But for this model, we're going to go with it. And I want you all to keep a dream journal. This is another thing that'll help. And a lot of people talk about, dream journaling. Yeah, I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. But dream journaling. Dream journaling, okay? So, when you're dream journaling, what are you really doing? Now, I know a lot of people out there are like, dreams don't mean anything, it's just your mind, and it's just your basic cache for the day, it's unsorting all the files, everything you've seen, every little thing that's gone into your mind. You watch a scary movie, you have a nightmare. This is some of the case. And I know other people will say, dreams mean everything. It means something. It's symbolic of this. You got dream journals in every freaking New Age store and bookstore there is. And for me, it's a little bit of both. It's your own personal manual. But this manual isn't written in words, it's written in feelings. And you're going to learn that once you become more conscious in the so-called dream world, it's very watery. At least it is for me. I'm not going to talk about the dreams that I have and what different sections throughout the year happens. I might go over one day, but this is about teaching you about how you can learn from it. And so it's as easy as every morning you have a little journal, you'll write down everything you can remember. If you can't remember anything, you just write, I do not recall my dreams. You could be like, Hayden, isn't this a statement of intent to just make you not recall your dreams? They said magic is very not rigid. It's an art, You learn the rules and then you bend the rules, okay? And so when it comes to statement of intents with do not, I say to not focus on it when you're making a sigil. That's the best bet not to do when you're making a sigil. But for this case, you write, I did not, or I do not recall my dreams. And then you'll wake up. And so here's what I do that'll help me recall everything back when I was first starting. Now I can just remember the whole dream and just write it like a story. You start off, you have the day. I don't even know what today is. So you've got, so let's say it's August 21st, 2018. That's not what today is. And it's not when this video is getting posted, but you have the date, and then what you want to write next are key words. And also, I didn't move on from this. We're still going back to this. This has to do with that. See, this is your waking state, and this could be your dream state. Now, don't confuse these with your good or bad self. I say it's your light and dark self, but it's more of the dark as in the shrouded, the mystery, the suppressed. Everybody has suppressed emotions, suppressed thoughts. They all exist in that one. And so you write out your keywords, and I know I'm talking to the board, but I'm trying to talk louder so you can hear me. But you write down keywords. Let's say you can picture a barn. There was a barn definitely, but it wasn't like out in the country. Let's say it was in the city, and so you write down city. You might remember someone's name. I'm getting over here. You might remember somebody's name, right? So you've got Chad or something like that. And it might not even be somebody you know. You might not even have this information. You might just remember barn. You just might remember that it was nighttime or something like that. You write down those keywords, and then you move into the actual body of the paper, and you start writing everything down. It doesn't have to be in chronological order. You can do that later. You can always come back later. But the thing is that you need to write down keywords if you do remember them. Now, starting out, it's going to be a blur. You're going to remember maybe 2 parts of your dream, and you're not going to be lucid either. I mean, you can lucid dream. It's fun. I don't use it for fun, though. I use it to get shit done. If I become lucid in my dream on accident, which happens sometimes when you are doing dream journeying, you will become lucid in your dreams by default. Don't try to do this. If you look up lucid dream, you're like, I want to do this. Start with this for now, okay? You have to, you could lucid dream, but then not remember the dream as soon as you wake up, and that would suck. And so you want to write down all this, you see? And when you do get good at dream journaling, when you do see the pattern in your dreams, you'll notice, well, at least for me, I'll give you a hint about my dreams, is that within a good 3 months, I will go back to the same place every single night in my dreams. It'll be the same place, sometimes same people, sometimes different people. This is really great for me because sometimes I don't get anything done in my sleep. What do you mean, get stuff done in your sleep? Well, as I said, you could lucid dream. And when you do lucid dream, it's going to be a little weird. It's going to be freaky. It freaked the hell out of me the first time. I was sitting like it was a nice fancy restaurant, and my entire family was there, and I remember becoming lucid, and I remember remembering that my body was still asleep on Earth. And I look around and I was like, this isn't my family. And so I just kind of like backed away from the table, and I went into the bathroom, and when I went in the bathroom, it was a different room all of a sudden, and then I woke up instantly. And so it'll be hard to get onto these things. And so when you do get good at lucid dreaming, you want to do some work. You want to look around. If there's somebody there, ask them their name. Learn about the things and the people in your dreams. These things do matter in a way. As people say, they don't mean anything, or they mean everything. It's a mix of both. And so when it does come to dream work and working within my dreams, I try to figure out what's going on. I don't try to look through the symbolism of it all. I don't wake up and be like, what does this mean? But I learn who was there, who did I met, who were they to me, what situations happened, the good things, the bad things. You'll learn as you start doing your own dream work. When you start logging down your dreams that you had, you'll start noticing patterns. You might not go to the same place like I do. You might not have that luxury. That certainly does help me to look for things, because when I go back to the same place, I can remember from the other night. Now, time is a weird thing when you start remembering your dreams, especially if you do become lucid in your dreams. It's not like, I remember this from my dream last week. It's that nostalgic, or there's a lot of deja vu. There's a lot of deja vu, at least for me. I know this may not be the case with anybody else. That's why I don't want to go over personal experiences, because everyone's different. I want you to experience this for yourself. I want you to experience the shadow side of you. All right? This is what's going on in your dreams. You're going to learn different things. And so when it comes to battling or confronting your dark link, it comes to the emotions, You see, they say the dream world is the astral plane. It corresponds to the sphere of Yesod on the tree of life, which is the sphere of the moon. And what does the moon control? What does it rule over? It rules over the element of water. The element of water, emotions. You see? And this is how, you want to fix depression? This is part of it. This is not everything. I'm going to give you a hint. This is part of it. This is what you need to work on. You're working consciously on this side. You're working the best you can on this, but if this one's done, you've got an unbalanced, scale holding two different things, you're unbalanced. Now, that totally looks like two penises. But either way, this video is really damn long. I just wanted to go over things, some things that people aren't going over when it comes to self-development. They talk about dream journaling. You can do all this cool new age shit. No, we use our dreams for ourselves. We go in there, we figure out what the hell's going on. We don't try to make symbolism of it, but we do write it down, and we come back later. And you will come read back on your dreams, and you'll start to realize different things. You'll realize someone represents somebody, or represents somebody that you have yet to meet. And some dreams are just bullshit. Sometimes you wake up and it's just bullshit. But you need to get in touch with that side, your darker side, those emotions that are suppressed. You see, a lot of people experience this. When you're talking with somebody real close and you're on their problems and they're talking all about their problems, and you get down and it gets like real sentimental. And it's why I don't really talk one-on-one with people like this anymore, because you'll notice that people start to get into their dark side. There'll be a lot of tears. They may or may not, they're in the great place for change to happen, but they stay in that spot. They stay complaining. There's no work to be done. There's no coming back to this. See, they transition between these two in their waking state in a way, but they're not doing any work here. And so that's why I want you to start dream journaling, get the work done in there. And if you do start learning who people are and you do become lucid, start actually doing things in there, because I'm going to give you a little hint. Things that happen there can happen here. And so be careful. Be very careful. Okay? If you become lucid and, you're doing different things, be very careful. The people in your dreams are like people in everyday state. Just because you're lucid don't mean you can rip off your clothes, say, ha, fuck it, and just like run down the street slapping everybody, You'll probably wake up before you have the chance to do that. You get too conscious in the dream and shit gets a little hazy. But when you do lucid dream, you're going to have to get the hang of it. And I really should make a video rather than just making vague statements about it. But if you want to start, you need to start dream journaling, just in case you do lucid dream and you just don't remember it, because that would be pointless. But either way, get out of self-mastery. Get out of self-development if you've been just enmeshed and entrenched in it and you're not moving anywhere. If you keep watching these videos and this ain't doing anything for you, if I'm just giving you little epiphanies and thoughts, and if you aren't taking action, unsubscribe right now. I cannot stand people like that. I want you to actually do some change. I want some work to be done. I want you to be in the place that you even want you to be. You know, it's not that far. There's no length between it. Time is just change. And you'd be like, oh, that's years from now. It could be tomorrow, you know? So, what did we learn? Stop watching self-mastery. That's the key word. Stop watching self-mastery, self-development. You know, you can still work on yourself. Definitely do that. You know, what I would replace this with is journaling. You know how much self-mastery you'll get if you just journal at the end of the day and you write your experiences, how you felt about them, your emotions, this and that. You start getting in touch with yourself. You start getting in touch with both sides. You know, trash the watching YouTube videos and courses and that. Stop watching my videos. You know, come back in 2 months and start journaling. I've mentioned making the notebook, the portfolio, the journal. We might just do that next video on the whiteboard, you know. But you want to start journaling. Start doing journaling exercises. Start getting in touch with yourself, meditating. Stop watching self-development. You get stuck in it and you get addicted to it. It's a dopamine high. You feel like you're moving. You're not doing shit. It's like when the girl starts changing everything about her all the time because she thinks that by changing her physical appearance, she's changing herself. She's fooling herself. And so are you if you're stuck in the self-mastery shit. All right? Next, work on all aspects. Oh God, my handwriting is bad like this. All right, so you guys got lucky. My camera ran out of space. I got 2 minutes, and so y'all are about to get out of here. I know the bell's already rung, but fuck your next class. All right? So ending very quickly. Stop watching self-mastery. Work on all aspects. The earth element, the air, the water, the fire, every single one, you need to be taking action. You know, you go and watch my videos, you'll notice different aspects of each element in each video. Things that we're trying to focus on, and that's why I say do the exercises, because you don't realize what you're doing, but it is helping. And so I might have to baby this and tell you every little thing that what your thing is doing, but you're going to realize you should have taken action a long time ago, all right? Because now when we get in the cool stuff, you're going to be behind, you know? It's going to be like you started school like a month late, and you got to take all this tests and all that bullshit. It sucks, all right? Stop watching self-mastery. Work on all aspects. Dream work. Start writing down your dreams. Start working on the darker half. We're going to go over this in another video. This isn't everything about the dark half. I know a lot of people have other things to say about it. You know, the allegory of the chariot, you know. There's so much symbolism to that. And, you know, I'm only going over a small part. You know, if picture's worth 1,000 words, a symbol is worth 1,000 pictures. And so stop watching self-mastery. Start journaling. Let's write that right there. And so, this also fits into journaling for the other half. So you've got this journaling, which is daytime. In the end of the day, you write your experiences, and then in the morning, whenever you wake up, you journal on that side. You can have two journals. You can have white and black one. Either way, the video's ending now. Just work on these 3 things. This is what changes it all. You get stuck in here, you don't get any actual work done. So work on all the aspects. Notice where you are and what needs to be worked on. If your love life's great, but your money ain't shit, it could be very fast that your love life becomes not shit. You see, one goes imbalanced and everything just goes kaput. You start working on one, they all kind of come together. And so, if you like this video, share it with your mom, your grandma, your insurance agent, whoever. Click right here to watch my last video, and you can click right here to watch the last video, and you can click right here to subscribe if you're sexy. I will for you all to prosper. Have a great day.